Waiting.
Woo, we're here! Yay!
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
Where are you quarantining? The verb.
So I came back home to Toronto, so it's actually like 10:20 my time.
Oh my goodness, it's so late.
I know, but it's okay. This is like, it's a Saturday night, right? So, what else will we be doing on a Saturday night?
Crazy Saturday night. I guess you could be watching Ozark, but other than that.
It's true.
Well, today is really special because it's the day that the NCAA championships for gymnastics was supposed to take place. The Final Four competition. And it's a day that I feel like we've all kind of been celebrating the gymnastics season, the seniors that didn't get to have their very last competition. And I think it's a good time not just to reflect on this past season, but the previous season. And obviously you were part of the 2018 National Championship team. They were just replaying it. You were instrumental to the success of that team and that championship title. So right when you landed your beam routine, you were the anchor on beam. Why don't you just set the scene for everybody that maybe needs the pressure of that competition?
Sure. So it's so funny because all these things started popping up today of like, oh, you can rewatch the 2018 national championships and all that stuff. And then we kind of like started watching just little reruns of the meet and just on YouTube and all that stuff. But it's so crazy because I think I'm still in shock that we just finished that way. So just a little bit of like a backstory. UCLA was not like, I thought we were out of the runnings halfway. Like we had a fall on floor. We weren't doing like our greatest. Like we were doing good, but we in order to like run for a title, we needed to be doing like lights out, absolutely amazing. And I think the first two events were just, we had like little mistakes here and there. So, but the other teams were just doing like amazing routines. And so we kind of thought we were just out. So I know halfway we were a little bummed out because we just thought it was going to be our year. And we're like, you know what, maybe it's not going to be. So I guess we'll just finish off. And one of the coaches came into our locker room and just gave us a huge pep talk. Like, you guys are athletes and all that stuff. Like, we don't give up. And so that really hyped us back up because we just, even though we might not be able to like come and grab this thing, it was all about just doing it for each other, doing it for the love of the sport, and because we wanted to celebrate how hard we had worked throughout the whole season. So then on the last two events, we really stepped it up. I think UCLA, we had an amazing bar rotation. Still didn't think we were in the runnings. We were like 0.3 away from the winning team, which is like a lot in gymnastics. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a really hard point. It's a lot of points to make up. So on beam, I actually didn't watch the beam rotation because I think I was just personally so nervous since it was like, there's a lot going through my head. It was like my last beam routine. This is my, last time going to be with the team. So there was just a lot going through my head. I couldn't watch the girls for some reason. But
thankfully you didn't watch.
Thankfully I didn't because I didn't know Maddie fell. I didn't know we had a fall. And so, and I didn't know that everyone is hitting lights out. Like I had to really rewatch the meet because I didn't understand what happened. But during my beam routine, when I went up, I thought in my head, like, we would need a 10.1 to win. So I took winning off
I thought you needed a 10.1 to win.
Yeah, so I took winning off the table completely, and I just looked at Miss Val and I said, you know what? This is my last routine ever. I'm just going to go up and enjoy myself and really just soak in the moment and take my time. Because I was like, I'm just going to, use this as my spotlight for this last moment ever. And basically, I did probably the best routine that I had done in my whole college career. Landed, was so happy. And I was really gunning, just hoping that they would give me a 10, because in my heart, it felt like a 10 routine. I was so happy I finished with, the bar routine that I did with a 10 there and then a 10 on beam. So they finally gave me the 10. We were all cheering.
And I just have to jump in. For those of you that don't know, at NCAA championships, they have more judges. So it's even harder to score a 10.0 at the NCAA championships.
It was crazy. So we saw all the 10s go up. We were screaming. And then all of a sudden I heard a second wind of screaming. And I literally, like, it was so cool rewatching everyone's reaction because it was fun re-talking to the girls like years later saying, hey, did you know that we had a chance at winning? Hey, did you know? And no one knew. So when I heard that second win of screaming, we all turned around and had different reactions. And I think it was like, that's what gives me chills, is because everyone found out at different points in time. And it was so cool that like immediately we just like hugged each other. We were like so emotional, and I think it was such a cool moment to relive, and it's really awesome that they got to replay it. And I just know like I can't even imagine what all the seniors are going through this year, because I was just saying, like, I was very fortunate to have the ending that I did, and I just think they are such legends. They, you know, are really brave, and they definitely have left a huge mark in history this year. And so it's like bittersweet, you know?
Such a cool sports moment for you to, you know, come from behind and be able to do what needs to be done, and for you to get a perfect 20, two perfect
It was
your very
nuts.
last meet ever. Like, what a fairy tale ending to an already amazing career.
I literally, it's funny because my parents, like, we always joke, like, can you believe that happened? I'm like, honestly, if you told me to redo that moment, like, I probably would crumble under the pressure. And sometimes I shock myself, like, oh my gosh, I really did do that. Like, because for me, it was just, I'm just going to enjoy the moment. And it so happened that we won a championship. It so happened that, you know, they rewarded me with 2 perfect 10s and all that stuff. But to be honest, it was one of those things that I still kind of sometimes like rewatch, because I just don't understand what happened. And I had to rewatch the entire meet like a week or 2 weeks later after the 2018 championships, because I had to understand like where the scores came from, because I thought UCLA, like, I just thought at first, like, I think you asked Ms. Valdez, we thought the numbers were calculated wrong because it was so close. So it was crazy, because when I rewatched it, I kind of just lived all those moments, and I was so happy that I vlogged it. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. I just thought, you know, it'd be cool to vlog my last year. And now I actually am really happy I did, because I get to rewatch it, like almost live like the hotel moments and actual like really like fun joke moments that we had. So there's a lot of special memories that come with that championship for sure.
This was one of the most talented senior classes across the board. So what advice do you have for them entering this next chapter of their lives?
Yeah, I honestly, again, like, my heart goes out to them, just because I can't even imagine what it would be like to not be able to have that like final moment and all that stuff. And I know for UCLA, the UCLA girls didn't even get to have their senior meet. And so I just think my advice to them is to really just appreciate the sport of gymnastics and know that they have done enough, and that they literally have left a legacy, and they have left like an amazing mark in history. They are, like what you said, one of the best senior classes, and I was really looking forward to watching them at nationals, and unfortunately, you know, that can't happen. But I know that every time I watch them, even in competition, they have left such a huge mark, and they've already inspired so many people. And I know, like, they've inspired me just watching them and going through this and just being positive and all those things. So I just really appreciate what they've done for the sport, and really appreciate how much they've inspired and motivated just everyone around them. And so I just think it's a time for now all of us to be one as a team, and now we're gunning for, you know, a different type of national championship here. But just for everyone to stick together and just know that they should be appreciative, and know that they have like left a tremendous legacy.
And that's good advice, not just for those seniors, but anyone watching this that needs a little bit more motivation during quarantine. I know I wake up some days and need a little bit extra motivation. So thank you for that. And I think it's also just a testament of what's to come in the Pac-12 conference. Utah is really strong. The meet against UCLA was one of the best meets of the year this year.
Yes.
Washington, Cal, you know, all the schools this year were incredible. So I think it's really exciting to see what next year is going to bring, and just to see the rise of all of these schools in the conference. So thank you again, Peng, so much for joining us. We will talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.